I'm pretty sure many of us have been forced to do a certain thing, or they had no choice to do what they wanted to do. Usually their paths were taken upon by directions rather than leading themselves. Which brings me back to this quote: no matter where you go, there you are. I agree with this quote, and I have 3 examples that pertain to this quote. One that relates to relationships, one that relates to school, and lastly, just being yourself. So, the first one, which is about relationships, me actually having my first love in high school, oftentimes I didn't know what to do. I sort of thought relationships were just kind of like you go with the flow. You just kind of like do your own thing rather than having things forced. Because if you have things forced, then when do you know if it's actually real, you know? So it kind of often makes me think that when you're in this relationship, you often you rather have something go comfortably rather than having things being forced to not know where you're actually going. And this relates to, this also brings back to my second example about school, you know, because I'm pretty sure most of us, our parents tell us to go to school. We're always like, okay, it would go to preschool, to elementary school, to middle school, and to high school. You know, most of us, I'm pretty sure, have graduated already from high school, and it's just that, you know, what was your motivation to go to school? I'm pretty sure that all our parents told us to go to school, you know, and now that we're all in college, you know, who motivates you to go to school, to go to college? And I think that it's, in the end, for college, it's all about you. It's that all of us are our own motivation to go to school, and it just kind of like, that's the rest of the way it leads, it's your own path. And lastly, it brings up about you. All the choices that you've made up until like high school, I'm pretty sure that's like everyone is just like they're always being told what to do, and so they don't really have much leisure way to actually just do their own thing and make their own choices about, like, you know, whether it be mistakes or the right thing. And it's just like now that you're you know, being a college student and you're like an adult, it's just that you have to learn your own ways, and I'm pretty sure that all of us, we just kind of tend to go with the flow. So overall, bringing back to no matter where you go, there you are, is just saying that all the life choices that you made up until now, it's just like where you are in the end is just, it's like you've come a long way. So that's just really where you are.
All right, Sarah. I thought the visualization at the beginning of the speech was a little abstract. The quote's identified. Your point of view is clearly stated. I think that it still seems a little bit vague where you're headed with this, even when you give us the preview that you've got. But there is a solid layout of what the supporting points are going to be. When you get to those supporting points, I think each one of them starts off pretty effectively and then kind of ends up being less than it seemed like it was going to be at first, becoming a bit more vague as you went along and therefore proving less useful in demonstrating your point than it had seemed like it would be at the beginning. However, there were clear distinctions and transitions between the points which made it easy for us to follow. Presentation issues, I think you project reasonably well. Sometimes your voice sounds a little shaky, but it's not something that was problematic. It was just that was the only indication of anxiety or uncertainty. That and maybe your body position, because you do seem to kind of face the same direction the whole time you're speaking. It's paced very effectively. Your gestures are a little bit limited. For the most part, I thought your expression seemed appropriate. Your eye contact with the audience was problematic. On this side of the room, I think everybody probably felt like they were a part of the speech. Those folks over there, it was they were lucky if they got a look out of the corner of your eye. It just seemed like you know, I'm here, I'm going to talk to these people, and once in a while you kind of peeked at them over there. But there's never a change in the orientation of your body. You barely even move your eyes, much less your head in their direction. So that feels like it's a little bit limiting there. Like I said, the only anxiety thing I saw were those two things, maybe a little bit in your voice and the eye contact being a little bit problematic. I had a sense of closure at the end of the speech, although it's not very clear exactly at the end what it is you're saying, but it's got a structure. It sounds pretty effective. I think the content could be a little sharper, but you're on the right track there. All right, thank you.